Well, it's never a dull moment in Kansas City. As you guys know, yesterday the Chiefs traded for Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida with the New York Giants last year. Things weren't going well on their side. They didn't really want to deal with him anymore, so they traded him to Kansas City. We appreciate the use of a player like that, and we're hoping that he can stay healthy, keep his head in the game. Those are the two big things, the two big knocks on him coming not only into the NFL, but getting injured in New York. He's already kind of made tweets and stuff about how he's not really injured. So we'll see how that all comes to fruition during the bye week. So we've got a film review today. This is going to be all about his 2021 snaps. I'm not looking at anything for 2022. Disgruntled employee, Toney, disgruntled everybody else on the New York Giants side. So I'm just going to try not to even talk about it. I do know that based off of seeing a little bit from this season already, he's open. They just didn't throw him the ball very much. They utilized him a little bit in the run game. Other than that, not really anything going there. So we're going to go back to 2021, look at some snaps, break them down, and look at the player the Chiefs have on the field, because at the end of the day, that's what matters for them. If they can get him on the field, then yes, this is what we're going to see. So let's go ahead and jump in, because this is a special player, okay? He's one of the most unique players with the ball in his hands, and he can become one without in his hands. Either he's down here in the slot, initially in the very first play that we're going to see, and the movement skills after. Just a little whip route out of the slot here, but for a screen. And then the ability to move after the catch. Unique. That's what you're going to hear a lot in this film review, because he has a ton of ability with the ball in his hands, a ton of ability to move in different ways. He can cut inside, outside on a dime. Things that you don't see out of many players. That's why a lot of people coming out likened him to the movement skills of a Tyreek Hill, because they're different. He moves differently. Again, you can see him dragging his foot here on this cut. You're really not taught to drag your feet a ton as a receiver, because it does slow you down. But again, the ability to change direction is so different from most players in the NFL. And that's why last year, when the Giants were using him a ton, they were getting the ball out quick and they were utilizing his skill set after the catch, because he is that special of a player with the ball in his hands, okay? Because coming into the NFL out of Florida, a guy who, again, played quarterback first, was really learning the position. He still is learning the position, so we have a little bit of a McCole Hardman-esque type of route in terms of getting into the NFL. Coming in, not playing the receiver role, still learning it. It's different now. You're coming in from Florida, now to New York Giants. Now you're in Kansas City, where they hope they can develop him. But the big thing here is that we have a player who's not holistically understanding of the route tree. So he's going to be asked to do some things differently in Kansas City, namely is understanding leverages and coverages. But we can see here by this play that he does a really good job of selling verticality, okay? He's going to take this stem, he's going to go all the way up the field, use that speed of his, force the corner to hopefully bite on that deep speed, because he's running a deep dig at the end of the day. He's coming down over the middle of the field. You're going to see it right here, because the corner, again, he does come with him, so he's trying to line up but also protect against this outside break here. But it doesn't matter, because you have to respect the long speed of Kadarius Toney, so he's got to make a decision. Do I want to stay on the outside leverage, or do I want to fully commit? If I fully commit, the outside is now completely given to me, and I have to be able to have help from the safety if I need it. So he commits to playing that outside leverage. Toney understands it, and he just cuts open, and he's open. There's nothing the corner can do. He can't catch up. Does a good job of playing all the way through that, getting open, and then finding, the football on point from Daniel Jones across the middle of the field. We're seeing a player who does have a limited-ish route tree. He's going to run lots of slants, digs, and I think that those little whip routes at the line of scrimmage are very useful for him. Getting the ball into wide receiver screens and things like that, definitely what you're going to see early on in Kansas City. But again, in New York here, it's actually very easy to see him. He's wearing two different, he's wearing a taped up on his left ankle. That red tape makes it pretty identifiable. I think the Tampa Bay game might have been his best. I know a lot of people talk about his Dallas Cowboys game, but I think from a versatility standpoint, we're seeing that there are some tools to work with. And what I want you to notice here on this little curl route from Kadarius Toney is the hand usage, okay? Multiple ways. We want to look at hand usage at the top of the route when he's coming around. So, as you see, not what I'm looking for. You can see he's going to come around here. He's going to turn to the inside, and he's got Winfield Jr. on him, okay? So watch his hands. at the top of this route, fight off Winfield Jr. through there, because that's one thing you're going to see with a lot of corners that want to play physically. They're going to put their hands on him. He does a little, a swim over, rip his hands down out of the way, and then attack the ball in the air, okay? So we have that boxed out position. You guys remember Travis Kelce scoring a touchdown that got called back last week against the 49ers? What he did, he turned around, he extends his body forward, and then you see the hands go towards the football. This is exactly the same kind of situation that we're seeing right here. That ball's coming in. It's a curl route, so you know the ball's going to be coming towards you, but you can kind of work your way back to it, and you can attack the ball in the air with the hands. And even though this is close coverage, this is ideally what you want to see from a wide receiver. And then again, he does fight through that contact. He ends up falling back a little bit, but you see contact balance for a guy his size, 6 foot 189. He's not a huge guy, maybe 5'11", maybe 6 foot pushing it. But again, very nice curl route against close coverage from the safety there. And again, this is all those things that we're seeing, well, the tools. This isn't a consistent player. Well, I'm looking at the tools because that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping to develop. There's a reason Kadarius Toney was high on the Chiefs draft board, is because tools, flashes, things that he puts on tape that you can really take advantage of, I think are the reasons that he's now in Kansas City. And I think this might be the biggest reason that he's in Kansas City. We know that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes love second reaction plays, being able to find soft spots in zone, being able to pair and match themselves with the quarterback on the move are all things that I think Kadarius Toney can do very well. Finding space and using your athletic gifts to get open are what he's about. This is a really good job. Again, this is a play off to the right from Daniel Jones, and he's just going to sit in a spot early. He's going to notice that Jones, again, he's got to find someone to open the ball. You have this defender coming in slightly here, and he does a good job of breaking the opposite way of where that defender is, finding open space on the field. And then again, always trying to make something happen. This was a 4th down play. Very good heads up opportunity from Kadarius Toney, looking to sit in that zone early. All right, I'm going to go in this one when you come across my face. Very, very smart player on the field, okay? On the field. That's what we're looking at here, guys. On the field, he's been very smart. I think he does understand leverages to an extent. I do think that finding soft spots and zones are going to be maybe more of a second-year thing. You're going to probably see more second reaction plays from him early on in Kansas City. I think that's all really relatively what you should expect. You should expect some screens, some getting the ball in his hands very early, letting him make a play. We all saw Tyreek Hill last year when the defenses were like, we're not letting you throw the ball deep. Okay, so we'll get it to Tyreek Hill and let him make 10 yards out of it. It's not the same player. Obviously, the speed is very different. He does not have Tyreek Hill speed. His acceleration is very good. I don't think his acceleration is McCole Hardman, but it's there, and it pops. And that's one thing you can do is you can get the ball in his hands quickly and make it happen. So when you're watching a player, okay, the big thing for me is consistency, all right? We're looking for consistency. The flashes are there, obviously. This is what we talked about to this point. Drops have been a bane in his existence. He does, a good job here running that dig, reading the outside leverage of that corner, hits him in the hands, and he drops the ball. Okay, this is probably something we're going to see. He's always thinking about yards after the catch. With players like this, you have to slow their process down. Again, all good things. Attacks the ball with his hands, gets out of that break, opens up to the middle of the field. Ball's on time from Daniel Jones, and then he drops it. This is, again, work in progress. Got to get his head right. And I think that he will get his head right. The Chiefs can get his head right. That's the big thing here. Are we going to be able to see a player in Kansas City that has his head all the way in? Is he going to buy in Kansas City? Fresh starts typically can have a different impact on the mentality of the player. I'm hoping that with playing with Patrick Mahomes alongside Travis Kelce, some veterans in the room and Juju and MVS can help get him on the same page, because at the end of the day, if he can take plays like that and actually catch the ball, this is how you're going to make a very productive player and someone that you can hopefully build around with a young core next season. Again, this move was made to kind of help, in my opinion, this season with early and getting the ball in his hands quickly. But next year, we're hoping to see him as a building block, because that's always what you're looking for. Once again, we see him down here with the mismatched colors. Thank you, Kadarius. I appreciate it. And this is, again, one of those flashes, the upside things that we see from Kadarius. This is the play everyone remembers, okay? Great job of playing in the blind spot in the corner, trying to trail and be behind him the whole way, but he understands, okay? I don't know if this is supposed to be run this way. I just understand that given the fact that Daniel Jones has all the time in the world that he needs, that Kadarius Toney is reading the leverage of Trayvon Diggs, and he's like, okay, I'm going to get open over here because I know there's no one back here, and you're playing trail and trying to catch up, but I can turn on a dime, and I can turn the opposite way and accelerate. That's something that he does completely different from other players. Sorry, I went back a little too far here. But he does so much differently than other players in the NFL is that he does have that innate instinct for open field. Against his sensing man coverage, he knows where everyone else is supposed to be on the field. He understands that this linebacker here behind me is underneath in coverage, okay? I don't have to worry about him getting on my route because he is in man. So I can come off of this one and go to this open field. And then there's the next step here is the acceleration. He does run right by Trayvon Diggs. You know, he catches up and he's able to get him out of bounds. But you see that burst of explosion right at the end of this catch here. That's something that I really do think can be very useful in this offense, getting him the ball, maybe finding ways to get him and isolate him in some man coverage. You know how they play isolation football or basketball? They might be able to do that a little bit if they identify man coverage, get him on the field there, and then get him in some of those situations where he's running maybe a comebacker like that, or a whip route, or a curl, things like that, to get to utilize those short area movement skills, because he's very, very special. And this last clip is something Seth and I talked about last night on the live stream. If you guys missed it, go back and check it out. We talk all the way through the trade, what he's good at, things like that we saw on tape. But this is the one thing that will make him a complete player, okay? The consistency to be able to fight through contact, because for a 5'11", 189-pound player, it's not easy to always have that ability to fight through contact with the contact balance and everything. So you're seeing him at the top of your screen. He's got those mismatched color shoes. If you've seen it, he's going to run an out and up here. So he's just going to go boom and then up the field, okay? Daniel Jones is going to identify single man coverage, and essentially he's going to be out to his right, hoping to hit someone down the field. Kadarius Toney becomes available. You know, as Daniel Jones moving to his right, he's like, I got to get this down there because I think he can win in man-on-man coverage. He does. Again, he's wide open for a touchdown, but Daniel Jones can't get the ball there. Then you see him track the ball, okay? Tracking the ball down the field, I do think, is an area where he's had some ups and downs, but he does have that ability to track the ball. Fight through contact. You saw that at the top of the route. He finds it. He comes back to it, fights through that contact, makes the catch along the sideline, gets in bounds. That is a trait that will make you, especially in the Chiefs offense, be viable. I think that we've seen, to an extent, a lack of productivity down the field in contested situations and in through contact situations. Tyreek Hill provided a lot of that. We know Mecole Hardman does not have that ability to really stand up through contact, but the ability that Kadarius Toney has to make you miss with your short area can make corners misidentify where they're supposed to be. And he does a great job of selling that out route, making that corner come back to it, and then he accelerates by it. That actually could be a touchdown in Kansas City, but when you were talking about being a complete receiver, the ability to stop, start, and then fight through contact is really what's going to make him the most complete receiver in that aspect. We've seen, Sky Moore do that a little bit to an extent. We've seen, I think Juju's done a good job to this point, but right here, being able to track, get your hands up for that football, come down with it at the sideline, get your feet in bounds. I think all of these things can really add to a Chiefs offense that, doesn't have the verticality in the sense because defenses don't want them to, but we're seeing how the different structure of the offense and being able to attack underneath with Juju and Mecole Hardman are forcing a little bit of an over-aggression from the safeties, and they hit MVS down the field both times on plays like that last week. And now they're going to see a little bit more of some packages from Kadarius Toney that can also stress defenses horizontally as well as vertically with some of those maybe underneath wide receiver screens in that first one that we saw, where you just allow him to get the ball in his hands and really change direction and make things happen. So from a talent perspective, this is a home run type of move you're hoping to make. It's low risk because, again, this is essentially a 4th-round pick that the Chiefs have traded away, not a real top 100 pick and a 7th-round pick, essentially. It's the back end of the 6th round, so essentially a 7th. So the value is there. It's low risk, it's high reward. You're hoping you can get a player who's coming in refreshed from a different organization that had 2 regime changes in his time there. He's been there less than 2 years. You're seeing 2 different things. You're hoping that he's able to get everything mentally, side with the team, and really get under Andy Reid's wing. Hopefully the coaching staff, the room, everything helps him out. Get mentally bought in Kansas City, because he is a difference maker. He is 100% a difference maker, even if he doesn't ever become a fully fledged can play Z, can play in the slot route running machine. He can add a lot of value to this offense, especially with the pieces that we've seen already in use. There's a lot of value he can add. And having that extra yak type of player in this offense who does have NFL experience, making real NFL defenders miss, that's so valuable. And really, hopefully he stays healthy, keeps everything in front of him. I'm assuming he's already healthy. I know we don't really have any clear evidence to support that, but he seems to believe, based on a tweet that he sent yesterday that was later deleted, that he has some of the health and he's ready to go. So that's Kadarius Toney. He is now in Kansas City. I do think you're going to see him here for the next 3 years. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see what Andy Reid can figure out with him. And again, he was a quarterback before he was a wide receiver at Florida. Watch for Andy to maybe use that a little bit. I think he can have a lot of fun. If you guys missed it, I did a great video breakdown of Jimmy Garoppolo being exposed by Kansas City in my In Harm's Way video. Please go make sure you check that out, because I think that would be a great way to top this all out. You go watch Kadarius Toney in here, and then you can see how maybe him putting up some touchdowns can help the Chiefs continue to blitz and hit other opposing quarterbacks like they did Jimmy Garoppolo. Please hit that sub, the bell, and the like. We really appreciate get all those subs in here. And again, make sure you go check out my In Harm's Way video this week. I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.